very much. Now I will shortly present my project, which is about the life and the work of the Franciscan friar Dominicus Germanus de Silesia, born in Szurgast, currently Skorogoszcz in Poland, in 1588, and died at the Escorial Monastery on the Iberian Peninsula in 1670. At the Escorial Monastery, where he spent the last portion of his life, he composed his most important work, the Interpretatio Alcorani Literalis. This is not only a Latin translation of the entire Quran, but also a collection of passages from the most important Islamic commentators related to each surah, selected by Dominicus and presented to his audience both in Latin translation and, for the passages he considered especially relevant, also in the Arabic original. While the Quran translation has already been edited, the exegetical sections, called scholia, probably due to their composite Arabic-Latin nature, have been neglected so far, although they cover at least half of the entire extension of the Interpretatio Alcorani Literalis. My main objective is to critically edit and study these exegetical parts, which offer great insights into Islamic exegetical literature and its interpretation and use by a Christian author like Dominicus. This will also underline Dominicus's originality among the Latin translators of the Quran, because if it's true, as we all know, that Latin Christian translators have always leaned on Islamic exegesis, they usually did not make it in an explicit way by giving to Islamic exegesis the prominent place which is given to it by Dominicus Germanus de Silesia. Moreover, Dominicus traveled himself in the Middle East and stayed for a long time in Persia. There, he had access and used exegetical works different from the ones usually consulted in the Muslim West and on the Iberian Peninsula, which renders his work even more unique and worth to be studied. An important task of my work will be to identify Dominicus's sources and reconstruct the exegetical universe from which he drew his material. The question of his sources will also regard the very Quranic text he used, considering that he had this bond with the Orient and he may have used an Oriental Quran rather than the one which commonly circulated on the Iberian Peninsula, which followed a particular qira'ah. While the scholia will be my main object of study, Dominicus also redacted other works, mainly for the use of the Christian mission in the East. Among these are manuals, not only for Christian missionaries, but also for Muslims, in order to enhance the discussion between the two parts in dialogue. He also translated treatises of logic and redacted grammars and lexica of Arabic, Persian, and Turkish. I plan to examine all these works, especially in their relation to Dominicus's main work, the Interpretatio Alcorani Literalis, from which all these other works have sprung. Along with the critical editions, complete or partial of all the works mentioned so far, as project conclusion, I plan to write a monography on the life and work of the fascinating figure of Dominicus Germanus de Silesia and his contribution to the knowledge of the Quran in Europe. Thank you.